Very good morning from the beautiful Puente Romano resort here in our sunny Marbella. Today is 17 degrees, blue sky, and of course, the subject is how can you, if you're a citizen of non-European country, how can you also join us in this paradise and to be able to live here? So today's topic for us is, of course, the residency, the different types of residencies in Spain for people that are holding non-EU passports. So today we will have a look at the golden visa that's soon to expire, the possibility to apply for a new one. And with me today, I am Marina Nitzak. I'm the co-founder of LM Group Real Estate. We are soon celebrating our 12th year here as a leading real estate agency for expats in particular. And with me today, I have two fantastic partners from two law firms that we love and trust with our beloved clients. So they will be helping me to also answer your questions. Feel free to write to us in the chat. And let me introduce you to both of them. I'll start with you, Irina. Maybe tell us a few words about yourself, about Marbelex that you're representing today.
Well, first of all, Marina, thank you much for for having us here today. So my name is Irina. I'm the co-founder of Marbelex law firm. We specialize in real estate transactions on Costa del Sol and obviously the investor residence permits related to the real estate transactions. We've been existing on the coast for various years. The law firm is founded by two partners and team members that take care of all our beloved clients from all over the world.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Irina. Then here on the other side, we have Alia from ProSpain Consulting. Alia, tell us a few words about yourself.
Thank you, Marina. Yes, I'm Alia, representative of ProSpain Consulting. We're a law firm located here in Marbella and also have another office in Barcelona. We're an international team of lawyers and we're specialized in all types of legal advising here, all types of migration questions and issues, taxing, accounting services, and so on. We're on the market already for more than 8 years.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Of course, one of our hot topics is golden visa. We've done so many together over the years, and of course, it's been a very popular method for people to move here, to live here. It's got a lot of advantages, and then one day they said no more. Of course, a lot of us were upset about this, and we've had so many. We had a big, like a gold rush, to get into the very last wagon. The final deadline to actually apply for the golden visa is
Well, officially, the law that was published on the 2nd of January states that it will enter into force 3 months after the next day of the publication. So that would basically be the 3rd of April 2025. You talking about the last trains? I think we've had three at this point. So it was April 2024, then it was 31st of December 2024, and somewhere in between in July as well. It was kind of like just about to happen. It has happened. Almost a relief for us, as much as everybody on the other side of the camera would hate to hear that. But we now at least know we're dealing with, which means that until the 3rd of April 2025, the applications will be accepted and will be considered under the law existing in the wording that was previous to the derogation published by the law on the 2nd of January 2024. Does that make sense, Marina?
to me, to Alia, but let's in more human standard terms, explain what does this mean in real world? Is it still like, is the train, going, and we can still jump? What do we have to do?
Yes.
How fast do we have to jump, and what do we have to do to be still in with the chance?
So I think Alia would agree with me. If we are being realistic, and I mean, obviously, coming from the people that will be filing your actual applications, I think that's the best person to advise. I think the last train that we have to jump would be completing, and I mean, having chosen the property, having gone through all the previous KYC and all the previous due diligence for the property, completing at the notary, which in basic words means, here are my keys, here's your money, seller, exchange, and here's my property, is, I would say, the first week of March latest. Why? Because in Spain, the registration of the title deeds at the land registry takes up to 3 weeks, 15 working days, which means that after we've completed at the notary, keys, money, exchange, you still have to go through a bureaucratic process of registering that property ownership title deeds under your name as the buyer. And only after that, potentially, you're entitled to obtaining successfully granting resolution of your residence permit. But break it down even more. So if we've signed, let's say, the title deeds for the purchase on the 10th of March, for example, we'll give it to 5 days to pay all the purchase taxes. After the 15th of March, the documents will be transferred to the land registry, and the land registry will take another 15 days to register this. So basically, we will then be ready with all the necessary documents, which can be provided to you per request with lists and instructions. It's not that difficult to get all the documents ready, but they have to be ready by something like 22nd, 25th of March in order to be able to file and have this application filed within the deadline that we mentioned before the 3rd of April, considered as if the derogation hasn't happened. So on the basis of the law that was existent before the 2nd of January 2025. That way, it allows us to potentially finish the registration of the title deeds within the deadline of 15 working days, having already filed for your application. I think it sounds a bit more complicated than it actually is, but what we do.
You have to make it sound more complicated. Otherwise, people would think I can go and do it myself, which some people we know have tried and then they've come back begging, right?
Yes, true. But I think a good thing in order to potentially get all of the paperwork at different timelines in the head is do such a thing called roadmap, where we literally state from the day you've chosen your property to the day where you have to file your application, all the previous steps and all the intermediate. And I think that's the easier way to look at it.
So at the moment, we do have several clients for golden visa, and we will move on to obviously the non-golden visa opportunities that people who are not fast enough, who don't have the opportunity to get the golden visa. We will talk about the other most popular options and alternatives. Although please note that with our trusted partners, you are welcome to have a completely personalized consultation for your specific case. And it's very important that instead of going to Dr. Google or anywhere else to try and understand in terms of taxes, in terms of family situations, etc., what could be best for you, and start making some steps. First, no obligation, have a consultation for your particular circumstance, and our experts on this matter will be happy to advise on personalized options that they would recommend best. So getting back to golden visa, the people that we're getting in, for example, we had I think just less than a week ago some British clients that came, that were thinking and thinking. We've been talking to them for a while, for a few months since last year, and they've been coming and going and thinking, well, I'm gonna get to know a bit more, I'll take my time, there is no rush. And then they didn't expect for the 2nd of January, still celebrating New Year, and there was the news. You have to run fast to on the train. So they came here and they said, can we still get it done? And of course, we assigned them from our side, the real estate manager, to make sure that they find the perfect property for themselves to base the application on. And we started working in parallel. So in parallel, of course, they were choosing the property and doing the reservation as well with you. And then in parallel, doing all the documentation, additional, because it's not just on the basis of property purchase. There are still other requirements that in parallel need to be taken care of whilst the purchase is being managed and being completed, also they need to put together a few documents. The main ones being.
So that's a very valid point. Basically, with everybody who we've been talking to now, they seem to think, I've chosen the property, that's it now, everything else you can forget about, Spain for another 1.5 months. The most important document, and I don't mean the most important, I mean the one that takes longest to process, is the agreement. Because coming from US, Canada, Great Britain, in fairness, there needs to be a previous procedure to be undertaken in order for that document to be accepted and valid. So again, bringing it down to you obtain, if it's the United States, the FBI criminal check with the fingerprints, and then you need to get it apostilled, and then you need to send the scan to us so we can get it translated by a sworn translator in Spain. For example, Canada, as I'll mention this very briefly, had an issue with the fact that they've recently joined the Hague Convention for the apostille. So this apostille is basically a stamp which legalizes the document to be valid in a different country from the one where it was issued. So everybody was clever like that and decided to previously notarize the documents and then put a stamp. And then that way, the previous notarization, what it did was still legalize the notary signature and not the signature of the authority emitting the criminal record document.
Presume with you, you're just going to talk everybody through this
Don't do
step
that.
by step. Yes.
Do that. This literally, I think it's why we do those lists of documents with instructions.
And you handhold people
obviously.
personally to make sure they go to the right office in their city to do as per your exact instructions.
Correct. But it is very important, now that you're making this point right here at this online, basically is to keep in mind that this deadline we can control and spend. What am I saying with that? If you are starting looking to purchase within the next month, please start ordering your criminal checks, already, because the process takes.
Of course, in terms of all the documents, for example, insurance policy that's needed, you also point in the right direction of what kind of policy is needed for the family.
Both you and I are the same collaborating insurance agent who speaks various languages. She's brilliant. So potentially what she knows, and this is very good because we've had a situation where a British American client did insurance in Scotland. Why on earth? But it happened. And again, the agents know exactly what type of insurance is needed. And more importantly, it's not just what the insurance is required, it's what documents from the insurance policy we need in order for the immigration service to just go check. This case is brilliant. Oh, great, let's go. So yes, we do point to the insurance agent. We obviously take care of all the filling into applications. All the application gets signed electronically. We pay the government fees for the client. We there's this thing called the certificate from the land registry, which is related to what I was talking about for the period of an inscription of the title deeds. We also, either with a power of attorney or one of our colleagues at the law firms, accompanies the client personally to the land registry to obtain the exact certificate that's needed. The other thing that the client does by himself is providing us a bank certificate with a certain amount of money on balance.
Again, you tell them exactly how much it needs to be. You open a bank account as well?
It depends. Because it depends on how much of a rush we are in. If we're talking
right now.
But again, that what it can be. It can be I'm buying tomorrow, it can be I'm buying on the 15th of March. That's a different kind of rush we're talking about. You know what I mean? So again, if depending on, we won't go into deeply to that, but depending on the KYC particularities.
KYC, I know,
Yes.
for those that.
So it basically stands for Know Your Client, but we won't go into that because that's like a separate subject. But what I will say, depending on the nationality and the source of income which is being used in the purchase of the property in Spain, the answer to your question, whether we will open a bank account in Spain before, while, or after the purchase, that answer will depend on that. But what it is important, relating to the subject matter of our conversation today, you do not need a Spanish bank account in order to apply for the investor residence. You can have a bank account in your home country, anywhere in the world. You just need to have a minimum required balance, which we will tell you, depending on the number of applicants that will submitting their applications to you. Correct. Family members, yes.
Yes, I think the KYC generally we speak to our clients from the very start always. For them to be prepared, especially the non-European citizens that are maybe not used to quite such strict questionnaires in terms of basically their personal profile and their financial profile. So where it's any anti-money laundering laws that are specifically very strict across Europe, and where we need to show all the papers in terms of declaring that our money, our income, whatever we are buying, property or is clean is the anti-money laundering law. So anti-money laundering here translates as KYC, know your clients. So for us, for you, for banks, for the government, we all need to know that the money that's coming into the country is coming into European banks is through clean, nice sources. So that's like it's a lot of rush. There is a lot of talk. Golden visa, also of course known as investors, residents. And Alia will tell us about some other options. So, what's the big benefit really of golden? Why are people not just like, oh, forget golden visa. I'm not going to rush. I'm just going to go for one of the other types. What we're going to be missing out on in terms of golden visa advantages? Why could it be worthwhile for people to rush and buy the property with us in the next 10 days in order to get this golden ticket, or almost like Willy Wonka's golden ticket?
Well, if you look at it from a perspective, it's pretty easy to get a golden visa. You just have to buy a beautiful property on the Costa del Sol. I mean, what else can you possibly wish for? But what I mean is that is basically the only legal requirement, apart from sufficiency of bank balance and absence of criminal record, you need to comply with in order to get a 3-year long residence permit in Spain, which is then after 3 years is renewable illimitlessly for each 5 years, given that you don't sell the property that originated initial granting of this residence permit. So it does, in very basic terms, is the easiest, and I think Alia will agree with me, residence permit to obtain and to for us to take.
It has like almost unlimited rights as well, right? So come and go as you please.
Correct. You don't have to stay any minimum amount in Spain in order to be able to renew it. You don't have to be absent from Spain any maximum amount of time. You potentially have to keep your, like I said, insurance, the property, and that's pretty much it. After 10 years, you can, if you have been effectively resident here and living here, you can solicit the Spanish nationality. So the only issue again is obviously if you do live in Spain over 180 per year, you will eventually become tax resident. And the golden visa, as much as it's often advertised as that, doesn't save you from that. But that's different regulation and it's a completely different legal block. So what I'd like, from everybody who's present here today to gather is the investor residence permit has the longest initial duration. So most of them are granted 1 year, 2, 3, 5. This one is immediately 3 years and then renewable for 5 every 5 after that.
And all of these are still going to be restricted, right? So all the visas that people have now, that people will be applied for and receiving in April, they will still have the same rights. They still like it's cancelled and that's it. And
No,
if you have it, you
will be able to renew it. Correct.
Okay.
What it is important as well, I think, to mention is family members. For any investor who potentially has certain family members who are not residents in Spain yet, it's time now that done. Because after that, we'll be able to join any new family members or any pre-existing family members if you haven't done it within the deadline of the 3rd of April.
Perfect. So in terms of, from our point of view, from real estate, we have to mention that the eligible property purchase we've prepared some selections, and they are eligible. They're eligible, which means that they're absolutely queue ready. So we're not be talking anymore about our beloved off plans. Something that you, even if you do the private purchase contract, and it's going to be delivered in 6 months. No, that train for this particular purpose is gone. So it has to be queue ready property. With all its paperwork, it's not a simply ski ready. It's ski ready, its price, its purchase price, excluding taxes,
Correct.
has to be 500,000 as a minimum. And this has to be of own funds without any mortgage. If you need a mortgage, if you don't have at least 500,000 plus expenses, taxes on top of that, of your own funds, no chance, right? Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic and let's be honest.
I think it's just why. I mean, again, if we go through, if you were able to get a mortgage in your home country, for example, United States and Canada can do that. If you have a property and you have gotten a mortgage within the next 15 minutes, no, I'm joking, within the deadlines that we've been talking about, and
She's not joking.
you can get those funds here as loan funds. That would work. If you go through a mortgage process in Spain, so you think you're going to arrive tomorrow and meet one of the beautiful girls or boys on Marina's team, and they're going to show you the selected key ready properties. And then Alia will take you to a bank. Brace yourself for at least 2 months of paperwork. And that means that our deadlines that we've initially been talking about will absolutely run out. So we cannot run that risk, nor you, nor with us, because that will potentially fire us. We will not be able to get the residence permit. So that's the reason why, mortgaging is unfortunately not an option right now.
Okay. So 500,000 if it's a brand new property, ready. On top of that, there is VAT, 10% plus 1.2% of HAD, stamp duty, exactly. Plus legal fees, which is a big gift to those that are joining us today. We will discuss what kind of gift we can give, perhaps the golden visa if we're on time, or legal fees. We will do a little follow-up message for those of you that are staying until the end of the webinar or messaging us after. But you have to make provisions for full price, at least 500,000 plus more or less 13% on top of that. If it's a resale property, if it's pre-owned, then there is a different type of tax, not VAT. You don't pay VAT on pre-owned properties. You have to, in Andalusia, the tax is 7% on the transfer, and again, some notary fees and legal fees. So you have to see if you have that kind of bank balance without asking for the local mortgage. On the good side, I think since COVID, we've done so many remote deals where you again instruct clients how to get power of attorney formalized so that you can represent them here fully. Right. For everything for all the different things that they may need to sign here, including the NIA card, right, and all of that. So they don't have to come here, right? They can manage it all remotely. Is that correct?
Until our deadline for application, yes. So we would need them here before, did we say 15th of March maximum in order to apply? Because in order to apply for the investor residence, you need to be demonstrably legally in Spain on the day of the application. But yes, the entire purchase process can be done via using a power of attorney, and we can complete pretty much every single step.
Okay, perfect. Now, before we move on to you, it's been ongoing, and the press, especially the British press, have had just the best time with it. There've been some words thrown around, here's some flying pigs, we're all going to become robots and everything else. And there's going to be some ridiculous, huge tax on property purchase for people that haven't been properly defined, whether you're non-EU citizen or resident or this or this or this. And of course, the media, they have to sell the papers. They have to like take it to the max. They have to, exaggerate the possible repercussions of those flying pigs flying into our robots and the eclipses, basically, right? So we're one of not that many larger agencies who've outspoken on this. So obviously we've spoken with you. Nothing is specific, nothing is understood, nothing is clear, nothing is likely, nothing is anything short term. But in the worst of cases, that at some point something happens, like there's a new taxation for investors that are non-residents they're not resident in any EU country, and they don't want to live here, and they still want to invest, right? There is always the option of speaking to you, and we're starting to get some questions as well, which I love. So basically, if that ever happened, that big taxation, what's going to happen? One of the simple solutions is through one of you open a local company, right? Legal entity, and that would be a Spanish resident. And if all you want to be doing is investing in properties, then there are solutions for everything. I hope we can't really. I've heard people saying no. What they meant is, I don't think they know themselves. What they meant, I don't think there is any anyway to be mentioned, right? So now we have Mohammed, thank you very much. What about other kind of visa? So Alia, let's go to you. Okay, so golden visa, 3rd of April. Bye bye. Loved you. Let's move on. Uh, several alternatives to golden visa. There are several types of residencies for non-EU citizens that wish to make our beautiful Spain their new home. So today we chose together 3 of the most popular ones. Alia, ProSpainConsulting, please talk us through what are the most popular, but obviously not the only ones. And of course, please remember to ask us for a personalized consultation. But the top 3, let's talk. What are the options?
Thank you, Marina. And yes, we all will be missing golden visa a lot. We still have to go on, and there are different solutions. So yeah, most popular 3 options right now. So let's speak about non-lucrative visa, digital nomad visa, student visa. Of course, there are other options like entrepreneur visa, we also call it startup visa, highly qualified professionals visa, and so on. So non-lucrative visa is a business permit for those who is not going to do any economical activity in Spain, like being employed or self-employed. Yeah, you can still own a business here, but you cannot do it yourself, like working yourself or being employed in the company. The good thing is that, yes, you can move with the whole family on this residence permit. And this is a proper residency. So you will need to reside here, and the years that you live with the non-lucrative visa will be counted towards your permanent residency and future citizenship if you're interested in. So the initial residency is for 1 year with the possibility to renew it for another 2 years and then for another 2 years. So once you complete 5 years, we can apply for the permanent residency.
Mm-hmm.
And the major requirement is financial means, of course, because you're not supposed to work in Spain.
To enjoy the lifestyle. I mean, this is what we all come here for, right? The beautiful beaches, mountains, golf. The lifestyle here is just. If you made it somewhere else, they say, make your money in Moscow, in Dubai, in New York, and then come to Marbella and spend it here. And enjoy it with your family, enjoy it with your friends, and just living la vida.
Exactly. This residence permit is just to live here, to enjoy, and yeah, simply that's it.
For the lucky people.
For the lucky people who have savings.
There is a name, right, for it officially? Is it what's it called? Visa type?
Non-lucrative.
Right.
Non-lucrative. So yes, financial means obviously private health insurance. It would be nice if you have own or rented property here. For example, those if you did not invest 500K for the golden visa, they're qualified for non-lucrative visa. And if the plans will be changed, you're allowed to change later on after the first renewal to work permit or self-employment work permit. So there will be different options for
There's
those
a
who
foot in the door, then you.
in case if you will love it here that much and you'll have later on some business ideas and plans will be changed, there will be solutions for it.
And there will be always properties, bigger, better. Okay, so non-lucrative. Okay.
Yeah. The application for non-lucrative visa has to be done at the Spanish consulate outside of Spain in the country where you're residing. And only after that, you come here to finalize the process of receiving your residence permit. So basically, I think those are the major requirements and most important information about this residency. Let's move to digital nomad visa. Very popular now. Everybody is asking about that because there were lots of news and information about it. It's the residence permit for remote workers, let's say for freelancers or for those who offer services or do services for other companies outside of Spain. Great thing is that it's quite similar to investment visa because to the golden visa because it's for 3 years initially, but then we can renew it for another 2 years. And yes, you can bring the whole family with you, children, spouse. We can also talk about adult parents and kids over 18 years old in case if we can prove dependency. So what is the main requirement is yes, to be a remote worker, or to be freelancer, do services for other companies outside of Spain, and then bring your taxes here.
Nice little setup there. Okay. But talk about this Nomad visa because I remember when first talks started about it, it was around about time years ago, right? Post-COVID. In COVID, everybody discovered, hey, I don't need to have my bum in an office, in a building, in Stockholm, right? I can actually work remotely and I can manage my business remotely. And of course, especially those that are not face to face, but a lot of technology, for example, right? Consultancy, including, I'm sure, lawyers. How much can be done? We've learned how much can be done remotely. And so when they start talking about maybe golden visa is on its way out, and we've had that talk for I think since then, no, maybe 3 or 4 years. They start talking about digital nomad. What is it about? Am I eligible? And so the nomad, digital nomad, has become a term with the whole globalization. And so you've been doing them for how long now? The digital nomad
Well,
visas?
it exists since 2 years.
And so it's already defined. So it's not because in the beginning, again, it was like, what do I need to do? What can I be? How do they know where my clients are? Right. So now it's quite procedure, it's quite established. And you can be very specific in terms of making sure that the applicant ticks all the boxes in order to get it right. So what are the most common mistakes that people think, oh, I can qualify for digital nomad? And then you say, so let's
Okay, yeah. First of all, there are two types of submission of application for digital nomad. Firstly, we can apply for this residency if we're an employee in foreign company, but we want to live here in Spain and keep working for that company, being still employed there. Unfortunately, this doesn't work well with all the countries, unfortunately. So it's hard to do with the United States, UK, with most of the countries because in this case, we need to register your employer here at Social Security and tax agencies here, and they will need to pay your Social Security. With some countries, it's possible to avoid it. It's always depend on the agreement between Spain and that country. And the second one is yes, when I'm a digital nomad, but as a freelancer. So I do services as a contractor for other companies outside of Spain. This way is possible for all the countries, for all the applicants. We just need to show that we're self-employed and we work as a freelancer. So that's the myth number one, because like 90% of people coming for the consultation, they're okay, I'm an employee in the company, my boss doesn't care if I will work remotely. Anyways, I don't go to the office that often. So can I move myself to Spain with digital nomad? So well, this we need to check, but unfortunately it doesn't work well with all the countries. Then you can change your contract probably from employment just to become contractor with the same company if your boss still doesn't mind. And then we can help you to move this way to Spain. What else? Those digital nomads, let's say, who do the services for physical individuals, let's say, the psychologists doing consultations and so on. Unfortunately, no, because you need to provide services to the companies, to the legal entities.
That's a big one. That's a
Yeah.
big factor. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to let you all know that we have prepared, Alia has prepared for us a special report summary of the requirements for all these other types of visa and what you can do and what you need and what it gives you. Right? So after the webinar, let us know as well, and we will mail out this PDF.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because that's also one of the most asked questions. Okay, I do consultations online, but who do you consult? Do you consult companies or do you consult individuals? Then it can be only done with the companies. And the company that you're doing services to should exist for more than 1 year, because we will ask for the constitutional documents of the company. We will need to prove that it exists for more than 1 year already. What else? Another myth is lots of people, they think, okay, I can manage my business remotely. Am I digital nomad? Fortunately, no. Because the concept of the visa is not I'm managing my business remotely. It's just I'm doing services. I do something. But in case if again you can kind of change the structure of the company, of your business, or maybe you also provide some services to other companies yourself, then of course we can consider that case. So I think those are the most.
Yeah. So again, the best thing is to get the consultation and decide, one is no, it's only the golden visa, I'm running. So, to present their case and say, what do I need to do to get it done in time? We're getting a few questions on the third type of the visa, which is the student visa, which is I was many years ago when I had the concept that student visa is for young people. It's for young people coming here and doing some language courses or university degrees. But the limit for student visa is age-wise
There is no limit.
Unlimited. So one of the questions we have, can a person of the retired age live in Spain with student visa?
Yes, there is no limit for age limit for students if we submit application from here, from Spain, because with consulates it's always a little bit different. They're more strict. But here in Spain, so our eldest student, I think she turned 80 or 82 this year.
What is she studying?
And it was even her renewed visa, so we got it already for 2 times for her. So there is no age restriction. So feel free to come to Spain to submit application, but only by 20th of May. So the golden visa is going to be cancelled. This opportunity also will be gone soon. But we are talking about only applications that has to be done in Spain and only for language courses. Of course, student visa will be still existing for the students of the universities or master programs, but this the most loved way to move from our clients. The student visa, this language course with application done in Spain, is going to be cancelled also.
This is news to me. This is wow. This is live. Our reactions. Did you know about this?
No.
There we go. We learned something new today. They say that you're never too old to learn. Never too old to be a student visa resident. Wow. So we have
April. Can I have a question? So are they going to cancel all applications for language courses or only those filed in Spain?
Only those that filed in Spain.
So you can still do it through the consulate.
You can still do it through the consulate, but lots of the consulates they do not approve it well. when we submit application here in Spain, we do not have this age restrictions, and the list of documents required is way shorter than at the consulate. So yeah, unfortunately, actually, those were the two most popular residences: golden visa and language courses.
I think somebody's out to leave me and you out of a job.
Now, in terms of you mentioned, because it's not just for languages. So we have some fantastic in Spain, and of course, on Barcelona in particular, we have some great business schools, universities that also don't have a limit. We have a long-standing partnership with a brilliant Le Roche International University that have really great educational programs for professionals, including for luxury brand marketing and everything else. So does it qualify, for example?
Le Roche will be qualified application through the consulate. Universities and master programs, they has to be accredited. They has to be in the list that we can check, of course, probably. It will be qualified for submission of application here in Spain.
Okay. So the student visa, you say it can, you gain foot in the door, and then world is your oyster.
Exactly.
What can you do there?
Exactly. Why do we love the student visa so much? Because as initial residency with such a short list of requirements, it's easy way
the way.
Yeah, yes, it's easy way to start your legal life here in Spain because it opens like lots of the doors later on. So major requirements, as we already know, wages is not an issue. There is financial guarantees, and you need to show at least 8,000 euros on your bank account. And again, as Irina mentioned, for golden visa, same as for student visa, it doesn't have to be Spanish bank account. You can show them anywhere.
That was actually one of the questions. Is the bank account have to be in Spain, or can the bank account be out of Spain, or in Spain?
Is that related to golden or? Well, I guess the answer is both.
Both.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah,
8,000 per which period?
per year. Because golden visa is for 1 year.
Student visa.
Sorry. Student visa, yes, the duration is maximum 1 year, which can be renewed later on. Okay, so 8,000 euros is per person per 1 year. Then again, private health insurance, again, non-criminal record, and medical certificate, which is easy to get here in Spain. And basically, those are the major requirements. Yeah, and you need to be here in Spain by submission of application. And the important thing is that at the moment of submission of application, you need to have still more than 31 days of legal stay left, which means if you have, for example, passport that allows you to travel here 90 days in every 180 days. So out of those 90 days, you need to still have at least 31 days. And yes, then we need to also hurry up. It's still possible to apply, and that the application has to be done here online, remotely, but you need to be here personally. And then once the application is submitted, not necessary to travel back to your country or so, you can already keep living, start living here and even start studying.
Okay. We have another question. What are the requirements for staying in Spain with these other visas? Must the applicant spend a minimum amount of months or year? And
Yes, 183 days is required for most of the residence permits time. The only way is called a visa that doesn't require this. And with students, again, the days are not really strictly counted at the moment.
I don't know which way, like, angel on one side, on the other, or, whichever is like, go, go, go. So 183 days. How is it by stamp of your passport? How do they control it? How is it monitored?
Well, first of all, the stamps in your passports. We're all expecting these corners which fall.
It's all digitalized.
Yes, all digitalized soon. Have you already seen this?
Yes, they're standing in the customs. Yeah, lots of them. They look very robotic. About to take off and fly and give us double taxes. But yeah, I've seen them, but they didn't seem ready to start processing our faces and
eyes,
eyes. Yes.
whatever. So yeah, this still doesn't work. So right now, those are the steps in your passport.
So it can be several trips there and back, but
Yeah.
for you to spend 183 out of 365 every year
In order to be able to read it.
right. Okay.
And it's also applicable for digital nomad visa because that's
Mhm.
also what nomads ask always. I'm a digital nomad. Do I need to really live here? Yes.
Another question: do you have permission to work in Spain with all dimension types of visa? Do you have permission to work with which ones can you work?
You can work if you actually your initial goal to Spain is to come and work in Spain, and you already have a job offer from Spain.
On to that side quickly.
Visa allows you to work, and there is also highly qualified professionals visa, but this you already need to have job offer from Spanish company by moving here. Another thing, if you're a family member of digital nomad, then you're allowed to work in Spain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So, for example, technological person who is a digital nomad working with other companies, and the application is for him and his wife and his children, and his type of work has to continue being remote with companies outside of Spain, can be Europe, right? Yeah, but outside of Spain. His wife gets the family adjacent visa, and she can come and work with us or with you or somebody else.
Yes, yes.
So have
Yes, the children who are over age and dependent cannot work because they will lose their dependency and will not be able to renew it.
the wives can.
The wives can.
So always up to the wives to work, okay. So other visas, are you allowed to work? So
Non-lucrative
student visa,
now
can you work?
student visa you can do the part-time or you can do the internship also officially. And
Part-time is how many
20
hours? Is it limited by money or by time?
it's limited by time. It's 20 hours per week for the language course students and 30 hours per week for the university and master program students.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
30 hours a week. That's is the limit to income?
No, there's not.
Well, it's been a pleasure as always. I've loved having this chat. I think generally there is so much going on in the world of uncertainty. There is a lot of things changing, even in the most stable European countries, especially in the Nordics, with their taxation systems. With UK is having a lot on. So we're having a lot of people interested in moving here. This has been very helpful. We've recorded this, right? We're going to do it with an edit, and we're going to put it out there. And I think it answers so many questions that we're all getting bombarded with. People like, I want a piece of paradise. I want, this is what are we, January 31st, and we have the 17 degrees out there. People are on the beach, palm trees, Instagramming themselves, and the people in Stockholm, where it's already dark, because they're European countries, but we also have colder places like New York, etc., that are looking to move. So thank you so much. It's been very, very helpful. I will say, if you're watching this on the same day, the next day, and maximum another 5 days, and you're not working already with one of our many fantastic agents on the team, we have a great dream team. We've been around for 12 years. I haven't mentioned any of that. And we have the list of the key ready, some of the best picks. You can just bring your suitcases in and ask us for the selection of properties. We will allocate you managers straight away. We will allocate you one of our lawyers to instruct you, guide you step by step. What do you need to do? Don't go left 2 steps. Don't start doing things that will cost you time and money. we don't have that luxury right now anymore of time and money to waste before we get the golden visa and also now the student visa. So if this is, don't postpone your dream life. We're here to take care of the whole lifestyle, of the whole process of moving here. Of course, we have with our fantastic lawyers. There's also consultation in terms of taxes, in terms of maybe setting up a company here for us in terms of schools, infrastructure, the whole moving process. We're here. We've made ourselves available more so. We've taken on more resources in order to be able to process this golden rush. So please do ask us for the contacts of our ProSpainConsulting and Marbelex partner law firms for them to give you a personalized consultation and to guide you through this cycle and to make sure that you can join us on the best possible conditions in our paradise with your family. And the angelic, this which types I think that's all we're going to do for today. And thank you so much. You've been fantastic as always. We love working with you. Our clients love working with you, and it's a pleasure and a privilege. Thank you very much,
Thank you so much, Marina, for having
Thank
us.
you. Thank you.
Loads of fun, as always.
Yes.
Absolutely. And this morning, there's been no, aperitifs for us as yet. I think we might have to this. So thank you so much for joining us, whether it's been live joining us or you will be watching this after. I'm Marina Nitzak. I'm the co-founder of Elm Group Real Estate, and we're here to make sure you have the most smooth and secure move to our wonderful sunny Spain, especially Costa del Sol. Please do contact us, and one of our dream team will make sure that you get the very best dream home and lifestyle here in Spain. Have a great Friday afternoon.